Today is Saturday, July 8th, 2017, and I am in Indianapolis, Indiana. I don't know if you can hear the interstate, the highway, but I'm standing in a property nearby here at one of the company's terminals, getting a scheduled maintenance. But being here in the home of Indy 500 makes me think about the way people drive. I'm going to get out of the air and get inside so you can hear me better. As most of you know, I drive anywhere from 6 to 10 hours a day, every day, across the highways of this country. So I get to see how people behave. And something truly frightening started happening a few years ago. The first time I saw it was in 2014 in one of my favorite cities, Dallas, Texas. So I'm not picking on Dallas. I love Dallas. The people are warm. I've met some nice people there, and they've got great food, and they know it. But the fact remains that the first time I saw this truly dangerous move was in Dallas. The move in which somebody driving in the far left lane, the fast lane, suddenly swoops across all of the lanes of the interstate to catch an exit. Okay, now, that's stupid. In fact, I have concluded that there are two kinds of people in the world. People who use a turn signal and stupid people. The person who swoops all the way from the left lane to catch an exit is included in that stupid bunch, because you can bet darn sure that anybody who does that is not using a turn signal. That ought to be an act that is considered attempted murder. The way to get your exit, you pull back. You get behind the traffic and you wait until your exit comes up, and then, like a sane person, you politely get off to the right onto your exit. You don't cut in front of people to get your exit. People are going from one lane to the next routinely without using the turn signal. They are making a complete turn, going from one street onto another street without the turn signal. The people who manufacture cars did not put that turn signal in there just because they wanted to spend the extra cost to do so. I promise you, your turn signal is not there for decoration. It is there for safety. So use it. A turn signal means this is what I want to do, this is what I'm going to do, and this is what I am doing. Most people, if they use the turn signal at all, usually put it on only in that third stage. This is what I am doing. Well, duh, I can see that that's what you're doing. You've already drifted over the lane. Put the turn signal on even before you know you can get over. Because what you are saying to other drivers is, this is what I want to do. Give them a chance to see what you want to do. Then you look right lane, over your shoulder, side view mirror. The turn signal then becomes, this is what I'm going to do. And then keep it on until you are finished with the lane change. Keeping it on means this is what I am doing. If you've got several lanes to get over, hesitate in the lane. Don't just swoop across it. Hesitate in the lane. Make sure it's safe to get into the next lane. And then you do the same thing. Make sure it's safe. Look over your shoulder. Look in your side view mirror. Are they not teaching that anymore in driver's education? Because I don't see it executed in front of me. Trucks, big rig drivers. I'm going to detour just a minute because you guys are most culpable. I can talk to you because I'm one of you. If you don't use a turn signal, then you're the biggest of the stupid. You are literally driving a mobile home. A house is what you are pulling down the highway. So for every move you make, you should signal. Every lane change, every street turn, and when you get into the truck stop, I promise you, you are not surrounded by truck drivers who can read minds. So use your turn signal there too. I can't tell you how many truck drivers think they don't have to signal in a customer's property, on a customer's property, or in a parking lot, in a truck stop. That is exactly where you need to use it. Trucks are backing up. Some need to go forward to park. Some need to go to the right to fuel. Of course you need to signal to your other truck drivers what it is you want to do. And if everybody else on the road is idiotic when it comes to the signals, truck drivers who are supposed to be professional drivers ought to be the only ones doing it out there. And when I see them not do it, oh goodness, I want to snatch the CDLs right out of their wallets. A lot of crazy things people are doing. If there is a solid line in the highway, you're not supposed to cross over it. People swoop across the solid line as if it's a dotted line. Are they not teaching this anymore? I don't understand. A solid line means don't cross. Stay in your lane until it becomes a broken line again. Why is that so hard for people to get? You cause accidents when you get out of a lane someone expects you to stay in. A smart person knows what the solid line means, so they're not expecting you to come out of your lane into theirs. Other things people do that I'm seeing that's just alarming, they're riding along the shoulders when it's not a shoulder that you're supposed to ride on. A couple of places up there around Maryland, D.C., they do have the legal shoulder times of day, you know, when you can ride it, just to alleviate the congestion. But it's designated for that. But across the country, I see people getting onto the shoulders and just driving as if it's a regular lane, simply because they don't want to wait. That's dangerous. If someone decides that they need to pull over onto the shoulder for an emergency, they might just pull over just as you, with your self, has decided you want to ride the lane, an accident you've just caused. Motorcyclists riding down between lanes, between cars. That is an illegal move. If a car decides to suddenly jump out of lane, as so many of them are doing today, that's another stupid move people are doing, just peeling out of a queue into a lane of moving traffic. You have decided that you are tired of waiting, so you just poke yourself into the next lane. No warning. If someone makes that idiotic move in front of a motorcyclist, that can be deadly for that motorcyclist. It does not take a lot to kill someone who is thrown from a motorcycle. So motorcyclists should stop pretending that the rules don't apply to them. There is no motorcycle lane on the interstate that allows you to go down between cars. People create exits. I see this again. I have to pick on Texas. I love Texas, though. That's my birth state. And I love it for the people, for the spaciousness of it. But again, it is in Texas that I see these created exits. There is a road that you want, that you can see from the interstate, but there is no exit beside the interstate to help you get to that road. So people have just driven across the grass to get to a frontage road or something else they see. And because a lot of people have done it at that same spot, there is a rut in the grass. People have lost their minds. They act like they think they're in Mexico City or Thailand or the Middle East. Selfishness is why people do what they're doing out there. That is really it. It is all about me. I'm the only one on the road. I don't have to signal to anybody. Why should I have to do that? It's all about me. Okay, that deeply selfish and self-centered mentality, we can't have that on the roadways. You will kill people with that. When we learn that radical Islam has infiltrated the country for the purpose of eradicating Judeo-Christianity, some of us get so riled up Oh, they're trying to take Jesus and Judaism out of our system. They're trying to silence us. Okay, if you are that much of a Judeo-Christian, then you should be that way when you're driving. Don't become Jewish or Christian just because somebody's trying to take it out of your country. Exhibit it in something that you do every day. When you're behind the wheel, you should be exhibiting what Jesus said is the second greatest commandment. Love your neighbor as you love yourself. If you love your neighbor, then you're going to signal and let your neighbor know what it is you want to do, so that that neighbor can protect himself. The second thing Jesus said, my favorite scripture, Matthew chapter 7, verse 12, all things that you want men to do for you, you should likewise do for them. I like it when someone signals for me. I like it when people don't treat me as if I can read minds. Driving is stressful enough without someone's making you try to guess what it is they're going to do. Don't make it a harder task than it has to be. It is stressful. That's why a lot of truck drivers just drop dead. Sedentary lifestyle on top of the stress. And if you're behind the wheel 8 to 10 hours a day, you're stressed that whole time, even if you think you're not. For me, I've always had low blood pressure. I still do. Even when I was pregnant, I'm 118 over something, 120 over something. But after I get out of the truck, even if I've listened to classical music or Sarah Vaughan or something else that soothes me, even if I've had a pleasant drive day, I've been on the open stretches and I-40 out west and all of that, I can go and check my blood pressure at one of our locations that we have across the country, and I'll be elevated just a little bit, maybe 130 over something, because I am stressed and I don't even know it. So because driving is stressful, please don't contribute to the stress of your neighbor. If you really are a Christian, I shouldn't have to tell you that. I think another reason we see so much of this bad driving all of a sudden is because the children who grew up playing video games are now driving. Now, if you're used to zigzagging around things on a video screen and you're doing that for hours a day, every day, you're going to bring that same mentality to the roadway. And zigzagging around cars, going from this lane to that lane to that lane, and especially without a turn signal, is not the thing to do. That's wrong. It's unsafe. It's stupid. Barreling along at 50 to 70 miles an hour, you don't want to clip anybody. You will spin out. They will spin out. Somebody's going to hit a wall. I promise you, one of you is going to end up right in front of my tractor trailer. There is nothing I can do but kill you. Or myself. I don't want to do that. So probably I'm going to kill you. Tractor trailers are taught not to veer away from an object quickly. We're taught to hit deer, for instance. I had to hit 2 a couple of years ago. If we jerk that steering wheel, chances are we're going to turn over, we're going to kill ourselves. So we don't. We go straight. We hit the brakes, but we stay straight. If you're in front of us, you're going to get run over. Stop the zigzagging in and out. It is not cute. It makes you look stupid. Cell phones. You can't activate your turn signal because the hand you're supposed to use to do that is holding a cell phone. Stop doing that. Human beings have got to be the most self-destructive creatures. It is a wonder we haven't destroyed ourselves, and I do believe divine intervention is the only reason we haven't. Give us something and tell us that doing it will kill us, and we'll do it. The last thing I want to talk about as far as bad driving goes is foreigners. People who have come to this country but have not assimilated. I know I beat the assimilation drum all the time because I mean it. Now, I don't mean that people should give up their cultures when they come. I think different cultures is what makes America beautiful. But there is an overarching culture. There is a dominant culture that exists here. You want that culture, I'm assuming, because that's why you came here. So stop driving as if you think you're still in a place that has 3 million people in 2 square blocks and rickshaws are going down the street. The government has dropped the ball on this. I don't look to the government to do everything, but there are some things that a government can do if its goal is to help save the lives of its citizens. The government can put out a PSA, a public service announcement, telling people what to do about this. When I was a child, they tried this strategy. There was a respected actor named Michael Landon. He was the father on Little House on the Prairie. Most of you listening already know this, but there will be some who don't. Little House on the Prairie was a popular show. The Ingalls family, they were like Amish/Quaker. They weren't either of those faiths, but they were Amish-like. And you liked the Ingalls family. So Landon had a respected public image. So he came on television and he reminded us to be mindful of the blind spot. That part on the side and to the back of you when you're driving that you can miss if you simply look in your side view mirror. And I remember that PSA because the potent message was at going 55 miles an hour, which was the speed limit at the time, you do not want to miss the presence of another vehicle. Well, if that was necessary then, now that we have speed limits that go up to 80 miles an hour in Texas and a few other places, if we can go that fast and we needed a PSA to remind us what to be safe, you know we need one now. Where is the federal government with this now? Whoever is responsible, the highway safety, whoever is responsible for these public service announcements, that will make an impression on people if you get someone that the nation respects. The other thing, police departments, sheriff departments, state patrols. I always see people commit these infractions. I never see a trooper or a PD or a deputy go behind them. If you want to fill your coffers, go after these people who do that. You'll get money. But if people realize how serious it is to commit the no-turn signal mistake, if people realize how deeply serious it is to sweep across lanes of traffic for selfish interests, they'll stop doing it if they get ticketed and fined hard for it. No slaps on the wrist. Not for that first move I talked about. That is an attempted murder move. And because we have this great influx of people who are driving as they have always driven in the places from which they have come, because the federal government has opened up the doors to let folks come in, not only illegally, unvetted, but unassimilated, this problem is only going to get worse unless you do those two things, PSAs and cracking down with tickets and fines, even jail. All right, that's all I got to say. I hope I touched on everything because I see a lot. But be a Christian if you're a Christian out there on the roadway. Don't leave church and then just drive like you're the only one that matters. Christian or non-Christian, stop driving like maniacs and use your turn signals.